If you've been trading for over a year, you've studied YouTube, brought some courses, read a bunch of trading books, but nothing has clicked yet. You've likely blown accounts or even failed funding challenges. And deep down, you just feel like your results don't reflect the work that you've put in. You're not lazy, you're not stupid, you're just stuck. And if you're not willing to stay stuck any longer, and you're ready for this to finally work, then this video was made for you. I know exactly what it is that you're going through because I've been there myself. In this video today, I'm going to reveal to you my unique trader's operating system. It's the exact system that made me $58,000 last month and has consistently generated life-changing income for the past 3 years, all while trading just 3 hours a day from anywhere in the world. This isn't just another nonsense trading strategy. It's a system built for control, consistency, and freedom. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works so that you can use this system and start trading with clarity and confidence to get the results that you deserve. So if you're watching this video, then you're probably in one of 3 scenarios right now. You may have consumed hours of YouTube videos, tried every strategy that you could find, but still unable to get consistent results. Or maybe you've read all the top trading psychology books, but somehow you still end up sabotaging all of your trades and you can't actually follow your rules. Or maybe you're just spending all of your free time glued to the charts, over trading, chasing entries, and just watching your confidence slip away. Whatever it is that's holding you back right now, the truth is this: you've been trying everything that the industry has been telling you to try, and it's still not working. I was stuck in those same vicious cycles, doing everything I thought I should be doing and making little to no progress. It's gut-wrenching. You put in the effort, you study, you show up, and you still feel like you're running in endless circles. But everything changed for me when I implemented what I now call my trader's operating system. In just a few months of using the system, I went from lost and confused to clear, confident, and funded. I hit my first 10K month and then scaled it. And last month alone, I made $58,000 trading just 3 hours a day. And yes, that's verified through my third-party broker sync trading journal. By the end of this 40-minute video, you will know exactly what the TOS is. I'll walk you through the same steps that helped me and hundreds of other traders go from stuck and inconsistent to funded, confident, and profitable. Just like Nickar, who within 3 months of being here got his first $200,000 in funding and went on to take $10,000 in just 15 days of being funded. Now, before we move forward, I need you to understand this, because for me, this changed everything. You're not failing right now because you're a bad trader. You're failing because you've been trying to follow a strategy, trying to find something that works, when actually it's about building a system. You see, you're not sabotaging your trades because you lack discipline. You're sabotaging because you simply just don't trust yourself as a trader yet. And you're not stuck because you haven't tried hard enough. You're stuck because you don't have a system. You haven't been given a system that ties everything together, that makes everything work as one unit. You've been doing everything that the industry has told you to do. More videos, more strategies, more books, more mentors, more concepts, more everything. But the reality is, all of that effort is scattered. There's no process holding everything together. That's why no matter how hard you try, you will constantly find yourself coming back to that same vicious cycle of being stuck and not knowing how to move to the next level. For me, that realization was painful, but it was also powerful. Because once I saw the real problem, I could build the real solution. I call it the trader's operating system, or the TOS. And when I started using it, everything changed for me. Up until now, you've probably tried it all. Strategies, funded accounts, mindset videos, trading psychology books, backtesting strategies, journaling trades, and yet somehow it still isn't working for you. You see, what you've been learning are disconnected pieces. You haven't been building a real system. You see, without a clear playbook, it's impossible to be profitable. Without mental rewiring, even the best playbook will be sabotaged in the moment. And finally, without a feedback loop, you'll just stay stuck making a little bit of money just to go and give it all back again. Just like you, I struggled to be consistently profitable. I mean, I was going for extremely long periods of time, not knowing whether I was making any progress at all. The only thing that I really had to rely on was my P&L or how my funded evaluation was going. And the reality is I didn't see any results. And so I was literally stuck in these same cycles. At that time, I didn't have a job. I went all in on trading. I would spend every day focused, studying trading on YouTube, reading books, trying to make this thing work. And the reality is no matter what I did, I still couldn't figure it out. You see, I showed up to the charts every single day. trying to understand what is actually happening. I'd take trades based on whatever strategy that I'd been told would work, but it kept failing. I would bounce from strategy to strategy, hoping that one of them would finally click. And when that didn't work, I just blamed my psychology. So I read all the top mindset books. And while they helped a little, they lacked any real substance. I was blowing funded accounts. I'd pass a challenge and then blow the account, or just continuously not even make it through phase 1 and phase 2. And I was stuck in this cycle for so long, until eventually, like I said, I just had to blame psychology. For me, the ups and downs wore me crazy. And after putting in so much hard work, I just felt defeated. I just started thinking that maybe trading wasn't for me. Or honestly, I thought that maybe all of these guys online that have shown their success, maybe they're just a scam. Maybe this trading thing doesn't actually work. Maybe you can't actually be profitable. Or maybe you have to be lucky. And all of those things, I didn't have them. And so eventually I just kind of felt humiliated. I was doing everything right on paper, but nothing was clicking. I knew that I had made progress, and that's what kept me going. You see, in those periods of time, my analysis got better. My ability to understand the market got better. So that made me feel like I had a sense of progress. I could start to see things before they happened. Wasn't consistently profitable, wasn't profitable at all, but I was still seeing progress. And honestly, that's genuinely what kept me going. But the reality was that progress wasn't paying the bills. I needed to make money. And so in the midst of that hopelessness, something just clicked for me. And after a full year of showing up every single day, 8-hour days, 10-hour days, bouncing between strategies, blowing accounts, constant self-doubt, you see, what I realized was that the problem wasn't my strategy. The problem wasn't my psychology. The problem was that I had no repeatable system to handle every piece of activity that I was trying to perform. You see, I was feeling powerless because I had no control. I was taking trades, but I didn't actually have a playbook. I was journaling, but I didn't really know how to journal or what to do with that information from my journaling. And finally, I was reading the mindset books, but I didn't actually have a process, something that I could actually do that would enable me to control myself, to follow my rules. And so I had fragments, but ultimately I didn't have a system. That's when I built the Trader's Operating System. It gave me a clear, repeatable playbook. So I knew exactly what to do at all times, from entry to exit to management, where I put my stop loss, where I take my profits, every single thing that you could think of that's involved in the decision-making process of taking a trade. I had a rule, a system, a plan for every single piece, and that was my playbook. On top of that, it also gave me a system to diagnose what's working and what's not. So every trade became a step forward to better trading, not just a win or loss. It gave me a mental operating framework that helped me to stay calm and in control, even in the most stressful moments. That was a big one for me. The mental frameworks that I had, again, I was reading all these psychology books, I was watching these videos, but it was all just fluff. There was no real, tangible, actionable things that I could do that would help my psychology. But the reality is the next time that an emotion comes up or the next time an event comes up that triggers you psychologically, you still don't have control over it. So the Trader's Operating System gave me tangible things that I could do, real things that actually made a huge difference in my ability to follow my plan and essentially just control myself. And then finally, it gave me a real feedback loop. A feedback loop that evolved my playbook and my self-control over time so that my system doesn't just work today, it enables me to maintain profitability for years on end. And when I put those pieces together, everything changed. I didn't just feel better, I became confident, consistently profitable, and funded. And that's when I first started hitting my first 10K months. And last month, like I said, with no big wins, no crazy weeks, I made $58,000. And the craziest part, I traded just 3 hours a day. Now, when I started, I was spending my entire day trading, trying to figure out what's happening. The reality is I got into trading for the desire of freedom, but trading very quickly became a prison, and one that wasn't even paying me. It was literally like hell. Now, fast forward to today, I can literally trade just 3 hours a day. That's 15 hours a week, and consistently make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Because the truth is, profitable trading isn't about doing more, right? That was a reality that I had to accept. It's about doing exactly what needs to be done and nothing else. Most traders are stuck in motion, watching more videos, trying to find more strategies, trading more strategies, backtesting more strategies, reading more books. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. Because until you implement a system, like the trader's operating system, you'll just keep doing more of the same things that don't work. So the TOS has 3 core pillars. And these 3 core pillars are what make it actually repeatable, scalable, but most importantly, profitable. So let's take a brief look at each one of those pillars, and then we'll dive into them one by one and go into a lot more detail. So the first one that I want to cover is the profitable playbook. The profitable playbook is the idea of one simple, repeatable model that is proven profitable, something that is systematic, completely repeatable. The second is what I refer to as the inner edge. It's the inner edge that 99% of traders never discover. And finally, the command center. The command center is essentially how you can transform yourself from random trader to operational master. So without further ado, let's kind of just dive into the first pillar. And the first pillar is the profitable playbook. You see, you think that the answer is more strategies, more setups, more pairs, more confirmation, more concepts. But here's the truth. When you trade everything, you master nothing. What finally changed for me wasn't learning more. It was stripping everything back into one simple setup. You're probably struggling not because you don't know how to trade. You just never learned how to actually build a complete playbook, from setup selection, entry rules, management, refinement. So you end up just ultimately jumping from strategy to strategy, not because you're lazy or undisciplined, but because the strategy that you're using is incomplete. And instead of developing it into a system that actually works, you just end up abandoning it. Or worse, you try to fix it by adding more concepts, more confirmations, more anything that you can get your hands on in hopes that that's going to be the thing that makes your strategy work. But the reality is you don't have a playbook, so it's never going to work. You see, for me, I learned how to take one idea and then evolve that idea into a real system, a real playbook. And that's when I finally became consistent. Now, here's what no one tells you. Most traders don't fail because they choose the wrong strategy. They fail because they never turn that strategy into a repeatable system that they can trust. Usually, it goes like this, and you've probably experienced this for yourself. Maybe you try something for a week, maybe a month, but at some point when it gets a little bit difficult, you take a few losses, you just end up throwing that strategy out. You have to ask yourself, why? Why is that? Why do you do that? The answer is simple. It's because you don't know how to clearly define the setup into step-by-step rules. You don't know how to test it properly and then collect the data to prove that it works. The key word there is prove that it works. It's very easy to give up on something if you're unsure whether it's actually working or not. You don't know how to track and refine that system over time. And finally, you don't know how to systemize how you manage, how you enter, and how you exit so that you can remove the guesswork and emotional overload. Without that structure, everything falls apart under pressure. And then you assume that the strategy is broken, when in reality, the process is just missing. That's when I stopped chasing more and then started truly just focusing on building the one. And that's what I now call the profitable playbook. And for me, the profitable playbook gave me one crystal clear, simple, step-by-step system that I just have to wait for each day and then just follow my plan. I know exactly what direction to trade in. I know when to enter, when to place my stop loss, when to take my profits, and every single thing that you can think of in between. I know exactly what I'm doing in every single situation. And then all I have to do is just wait for that to happen and then just execute on what my plan tells me. But here's the key. The important part is that you have to have the data to prove that the model works. For me personally, I have over 30 hours of recordings of me backtesting my strategy over the last 2.5 years. I took 230 trades. I returned 216%. I know every single number of my strategy. I averaged 8% per month, again on average, 230 trades taken. And that's what I give to my members for them to go study and learn, to go then use for themselves. Because when you have that, it removes all of the guessing and hoping. It stops the constant anxiety and worry of what will happen when a trade plays out, right? You've experienced this as well. The outcome of that one trade meant everything to me. If I made money on that trade, I felt amazing. I felt great. I felt my system worked. I felt I was a great trader. That's a very dangerous place to be because now you're vulnerable to losses. Because the problem is when the losses come, you feel like you're a failure. You think that your strategy doesn't work. You lose all of your confidence in yourself. And that's what happens. And again, that's why you end up just ditching the strategy and then moving on to another one.
And honestly, like I said, I can't blame you, because if you don't know how to do those things, you don't know how to clearly define your setups, how to systemize your processes, how to track the data, how to refine the system, then that's the cycle that you're just going to be stuck in. Because when you're actually confident in your strategy, when you know that it's proven, it's like the weight of the world is lifted from your shoulders. And then you're able to trade with confidence and ease. You don't worry about losing a trade because you know the performance of your system. You know that if you just follow the rules, you'll make money, even if you go on losing streaks. I mean, like, fast forward to today, maybe I finished this week in the red. Maybe I finished the month in the red, right, on a rare occasion. I'm able to deal with that completely fine because I just know that the numbers of my strategy. If I just show up tomorrow and the next day and the next day, eventually everything will balance itself out and I'll get back to my profitable average. But you can't do that if you don't know the numbers of your system. And you don't know the numbers of your system if you don't know how to build your playbook. So again, really, really important to have that. Because when you don't know how to build the playbook, or you don't know how to properly test the strategy or track the data or make the changes according to that data, it's very difficult to ever trade a strategy properly. There's just too much doubt and uncertainty. You need a profitable playbook if you want to be successful. And trying to trade a random strategy that you find on YouTube, regardless of who uses it, isn't going to give you that. And testing a few strategies on TradingView or even live trading a few strategies also isn't going to do that for you. So a profitable playbook is a non-negotiable. And it's not just me it helps. When Jeffrey started working with us, he had nothing. And within 6 months of having a proven profitable playbook, it changed everything for him. He made $50,000, right? So he spent the first 3 months just mastering everything. And by the end of those 6 months, he was able to make $50,000 just because he finally had an actual playbook. Because again, without a playbook, you're screwed. You don't have anything to go off of. So that's what happens when you actually have a proven profitable playbook. You stop winging it, you stop guessing, and then you're actually able to start trading with confidence and clarity. But here's the truth. Even with the best system, the clearest playbook, you can still blow it all in one emotional moment. Because the second piece of consistency isn't technical, it's psychological. You can give 10 traders the exact same strategy and get 10 completely different results. Why? One word: deviation. You see, deviance is the reason that most traders will never see results, even if they have a solid strategy. It's the small actions that you take that aren't a part of your plan that sneak in during stress. You say you'll follow the rules, and then you don't. You say you'll hold the trade, but then you close it too soon. You say, I'll never make that mistake again, only to make the exact same mistake again just 1 week later. That's not a strategy problem, that's a psychological problem. Now, ask yourself this. How many times have you been in a winning trade only to feel tension rise as it starts coming back towards your entry? You feel your body start to tense. Your breathing starts to change. You see your brain start whispering to you, this is a bad trade. It's gonna hit your stop loss eventually. So just close it now and at least you won't have to take a loss. And then before you know it, you ended up closing that trade, only for you to then watch as price head straight back towards your take profit, leaving you confused as to why you even closed it in the first place, and ultimately angry at yourself that you didn't follow your plan. You see, you didn't miss out of anything because of your strategy. You missed out because your inner chimp hijacked you in the moment, and you can't blame it. I mean, this part of your brain is designed to keep you safe. If you're being chased by a bear in the woods, you would need this part of your brain to avoid death. Unfortunately, this ancient part of our brain hasn't evolved to deal with the reality of the world we live in today. Either you learn to manage it, or you constantly allow it to hijack you, leading to painful mistakes over and over and over again. The inner chimp is the emotional part of your brain. It's called the amygdala, and it's 100 times stronger than your prefrontal cortex, which is your logical, thinking, decision-making brain. You see, this amygdala has one job: survival, not success. So in moments of uncertainty, it completely takes over you. And that's why willpower alone never works. You can't out-discipline it. You can't just be more disciplined. The only way to win is to understand how it works and then use its own methods against it. You see, even with a good strategy, your chimp will eventually turn your hypothetical wins into real losses. What you should make from your strategy is never what you actually make. And that's what we call the performance gap. It's this space between your system's potential and your ability to capitalize on that system. So if you're watching this and you're not a beginner anymore, I know you've likely felt this. And the reality is if you haven't, you definitely will. Because this is the thing that ruins promising traders more than anything else. Now, for me, this was my biggest enemy. No matter how much pain I felt from breaking my rules, I would just always tell myself that next time I won't make that same mistake. Next time I'll just be better. But the reality is that nothing changed because I was fighting the chimp with logic and force. And that is not a battle you will win consistently. Until I finally learned how to manage that part of my brain, I was completely incapable of making money consistently. I'd have good days, good weeks, only then to just give it all back in a couple of really bad days. And that was my chimp emotionally hijacking me, making me do things that wasn't a part of my plan. I used to think that I was doomed. I thought that I was completely broken, that something was really deeply inherently wrong with me. But the reality is that's just the human mind. And unfortunately, no matter how many psychological books I read, I mean, I'm sure they were all well-intentioned authors of all these best-selling mindset books, but they weren't able to ever actually get to the root cause of the problem that I was having. It was always surface level things like don't be fearful or be careful of greed or just make sure you follow your plan. And that's all great, but it doesn't actually make a real impact. When it comes to those moments, when I'm in the markets and I have decisions to make, the information in those books just didn't really do anything. And again, you've probably experienced this yourself. You'll know exactly what I mean. And for me, it took me way too long to figure this out. But once I did figure it out, everything changed. You see, I went from reacting to everything to being able to feel the hijack before it came. Now that's the actual key here. And that's when I created what I now call the inner edge. The inner edge is a system for managing my emotions and staying in control, even in the most intense trading moments. And now here's the best part. It's actually pretty simple. Once you understand what's actually happening in your brain, you can start to understand how to deal with that. But if you don't really understand it, you literally have no chance of defeating it. You can't kill the enemy you can't see. Most people will just say to you, just follow your rules. Now, the reality is those traders have probably never traded professionally before because it just isn't that simple. But once this clicks, you're able to stop sabotaging your good trades. You're able to stop panicking in the moment. And then you become someone who is just able to do the right things at the right time. And honestly, that is probably the biggest part of trading. If you have a strategy that works, and again, many of you don't, but even when you do, then the game is, well, can I follow that strategy? And that's just a game of, can I do the right thing at the right time, right? That's the next thing that you have to overcome. And so when you actually develop that, everything starts to shift. And that's exactly what happened to Ralph, right? Ralph, who joined us, he actually already was a decent trader, very good technical analyst, but still no control over his mind. He came to me and literally said like, hey, I understand a lot of what it is that you're explaining. I understand smart money concepts. I can read the markets, but no matter what I try to do, I just don't make money. And I say like, show me all of your data then. And he doesn't have the data, which is fine, but because he doesn't have the data, he doesn't know what's happening. And it's like, I just keep making mistakes. And so he literally says, like, if it wasn't for the inner edge, he would have never been able to achieve what he has achieved. And Ralph has achieved some pretty impressive things. I mean, he's generated $400,000 in funding, and he's made over $50,000 verified profits. You can check it with the QR code on FTMO. And he gave a lot of the credit for that success strictly to the inner edge. So let's get clear on something here, okay? You cannot and will not ever see success without a profitable playbook. It's impossible. I don't care if you have absolute mastery of your brain. If you don't have a profitable playbook, you will not make money. Now, the same is true on the contrary. You can be the best technical analyst in the world. You can read the market incredibly well. But if you can't control your emotions, if you can't control the decisions you make, not the hypothetical analysis you're able to create, but the decisions, the things that you do, if you can't control your emotions, no profitable playbook is going to save you. So you have to have both. Now, that leads me into my final pillar of my trader's operating system. And it's the thing that holds everything together. Honestly, it's more important than the first two combined. You will run around in circles with no control over your trading. You will remain lost, confused, and repeating the same mistakes that 99% of others who watch videos just like this and never actually make any change do, until you eventually figure these things out. Or, unfortunately, like most, you just end up quitting or accepting defeat. Right now, you're probably trading in absolute chaos. Whether you've accepted that or not, it's probably the reality. You're taking trades, but you're not tracking why, or if you are, it's just vague. You're losing money, but you can't pinpoint exactly what's going wrong. You're trying to improve, but you don't actually know what needs fixing. If I ask you right now, right, what was the loss that you took last Tuesday? Or what was the loss that you took on Monday 3 weeks ago from here? Could you answer that question? The reality is you probably couldn't. And the reality is most traders can't. They just have a rough feeling or idea. But feelings and vague ideas don't build consistency. Data does. And here's the craziest part. You know you should be journaling. You say you're going to track, but you don't follow through. And I completely get it. It's not a discipline thing. It's not that you are incapable or incompetent. You just don't have a real system. You don't know exactly what to track. You don't know how to review it. You don't know what to do with all of that data. You hear people throw it around all the time. You should be journaling, but you don't really understand how to journal, why it's that important. You think like, yeah, okay, I took this trade, I made this amount of money, I lost this amount of money. There's no real substance behind it. It kind of just feels like a waste of time. And that's for 99% of people. And that's because they don't have a real system. But that's what having a proper command center enables you to do. Your command center becomes your foundation of real measurable growth. You see, it's where you're able to actually build and refine a real playbook, track your live performance, review your decisions, spot patterns and audit your behavior, and collect real data so you can stop guessing and start making real progress. Because here's the truth, without detailed reflection, you're just guessing. Without accurate data, you're completely blind. Without an operating system, you will just stay stuck. Let me tell you something that no one wants to hear. Time doesn't make you better. Reflection does. You hear all these guys online all the time and they say, it's just time in the market. Honestly, I don't believe that. 1 year of emotional trading, that isn't experience. That's just repetition. You're just doing the same things. That's not growth. That's not progress. I know traders that have been spending 5 years just doing the wrong thing and they come to me and within 3 months we fix it. What are those 5 years for? Like, it's not time. It's doing the right things. Because that's reality. You can do the wrong things and you're gonna get the wrong results. Because the truth is, you don't need more information. You need clarity. You don't need more trades. You need to know what works and what doesn't. And that's what this system does. It turns you from a scattered optimist, someone who just hopes that something's gonna work, into an actual professional trading operator. And that's the goal. You know what you're doing before the session starts. You know what setups you're taking and why. You're tracking not just what you did, but how well you followed the plan. That level of clarity, that's what makes progress actually inevitable. Now, you want to know how to make real progress? Track everything. When you review yourself honestly every week, you will start to see the exact moment that emotion takes over. You start seeing exactly what keeps going wrong, the exact mistakes, the patterns that you have been unknowingly repeating week after week that's causing you to stay stuck where you are. And once you see it, you can start making the real change. Now, this isn't just a tool. This command center isn't a tool. It's a mirror. It's the mirror that you probably want to avoid because it shows you the truth. But the reality is that's where the real growth begins. This is what really changes your outcomes. That was the final piece that made me and my trading unshakable. It was until I built a full system and then used it consistently. That's when I finally felt in control. I didn't even know it existed before I built my command center. That feeling of actually having a grasp on your trading, that feeling of actually having control over what's happening, I can't explain how good that feeling is. I just thought personally that you just weren't able to get that from trading, that you'd always just have that constant anxiety or fear that you don't have control over things because there's too many things going on, there's so many different things. But when you have a proper command center, it gives you control of your trading. And that equals no more reacting, no more randomness. I know exactly what I was doing and why I was doing it. And again, that's when I stopped just focusing on hustling and grinding and more of this and more strategies and more everything and transitioned into operating. And that's what gave me the ultimate edge, control. Now imagine this for a second. Let's say you sit down to trade your session tomorrow. And before you do anything, you know exactly what you're looking for. You know exactly what setups that you may get today. You're emotionally stable. You know the data of your edge, and that gives you confidence. You know that whilst this session is ongoing, you have to record everything that you're doing, how you feel, what you're thinking, and you know that when your session is over, you will reflect on everything that took place. You will know exactly what went well and what went wrong, and you're immediately able to see what needs improvement. And then you can work on improving that one thing. No more random actions hoping that that will somehow fix your problems. You see, this is the level of operating that true professionals like myself go through. That's why I'm able to get the results like I do. Every mistake teaches you something. Every week you get better by design. You see, that's not luck, that's the command center. And when you've got this running, real progress isn't just a goal that you strive for. It's just a normal inevitability. That's exactly what happened to Bill, right? Bill took this command center and went from unprofitable, able to do nothing because he couldn't see his own blind spots. Fast forward, he was able to see everything full circle, understand what's going wrong, slowly but surely, taking the action, doing the work, making real progress, right? Not just random actions, real intentional actions working on what's going wrong. And fast forward to today, he has $400,000 in assets under management, diversified across 2 prop firms. That's the power of the command center. So you've just seen the trader's operating system that changed my life and the lives of countless of others who have put it into practice. From here, I guess you really have 2 choices. Option number 1 is you can take the information that you've gotten here today about the trader's operating system and go and apply that to your trading and you'll get results. I mean, it is a viable option, but just know that with that option, be prepared for it to cost you months of time, maybe even years, for you to be able to figure out how to do all of those things yourself. Not to mention the extra money that you'll likely spend in failed challenges and maybe blowing more accounts before you're able to get these things to really sink in. Option number 2 is that you can do it with us. We can walk you through it step by step, hold your hand, and give you everything laid out on a plate. And I mean, if that's what you're interested in, that's ultimately the exact reason that I created Prosperity School. You see, Prosperity School is the only mentorship that helps traders go from scattered and inconsistent to actual profitable trading operators, able to consistently withdraw profits from the market with confidence just by following a step-by-step roadmap. I mean, inside Prosperity School, we don't just teach theory, we give you the actual TOS, the actual trader's operating system. You'll get access to my personal step-by-step playbook with over 30 hours of me trading this strategy, simply following a set of rules over 2.5 years and making over 200%. We'll show you exactly how to rewire your brain in order for you to succeed. And we will give you the command center that has absolutely everything inside and is very easy and fun to use. And I'll show you exactly how to use that step by step. With those 3 things combined, you will literally have ultimate control over your trading performance. You see, Prosperity School is a full stack mentorship that takes you exactly from where you are now to consistently profitable, in complete control, and able to trade with confidence and clarity, so you'll be able to reach that $10,000 or more per month from trading, all whilst having to trade just 3 hours a day and being able to do it from anywhere in the world. You see, every single success story that you've seen here in this video today have all been through this program. They've all used this trader's operating system to achieve the success that they have, because the operating system will enable you to read price action like a professional, build a real edge, rewire a trader's mindset, get funded, and obviously make money consistently. Because when you do it with experts who have already walked the path that you want to walk, it not only becomes faster and easier, but it also becomes cheaper in the long term. Because the right information can get you unstuck and give you the confidence by having a proven process to follow. Not to mention, it's obviously way more fun doing it that way. So this is for you if you failed funded challenges or blown accounts after passing them. If you feel close, but you still ultimately feel like something's just not clicking, or you know you're capable, but you're still not getting consistent results. Maybe you're tired of trading like a hopeful amateur and you're finally ready to trade like a true professional. Or maybe you're aware of some of the things that you need to do, but you just don't quite know exactly how to do them. Or finally, you're ready to become profitable now, not spend the next 2 years repeating more of the same mistakes. So if that does sound like you, and you've got a few minutes, then I'd like to invite you into the opportunity to take a look at what's actually inside of Prosperity School. You see, Prosperity School is the best practical
results-oriented mentorship that you have ever experienced. With over 50 hours of focused training structured into a clear step-by-step roadmap, every module has been designed to build on top of the last one so that it just naturally pieces itself together and is curated to give you complete clarity, mastery, and confidence. You'll be getting access to a step-by-step roadmap to go from exactly where you are right now to a consistently profitable trader. Every single step of that journey is going to be outlined with the action items that you need to complete to transcend to the next level. And so basically all you need to do is follow that plan. You'll be getting access to all of the tools and resources that I use as a part of my Traders Operating System that make trading easier and smoother. You will get the full Traders Operating System and the coaching so that you never get left lost or confused at any point at all. You see, this program is broken down into 3 main phases. Phase 1 is the playbooks. In the playbooks area, that's where you're going to get access to my step-by-step detailed trading strategy. In that period, you'll get the full breakdown of that entire strategy, step-by-step, all the rules, all the processes, and like I already said, 2.5 years of day-by-day back-tested data with all the concepts that explain the entire strategy and how it works. You'll get the inner edge, which is the full stack trading psychology program in a way that you've never heard of it before. This is diving into all of the areas of trading psychology. You will also get phase 3, which is the command center. The command center is the operating system where you house all of which is going on. All of your testing, all of your data, your playbooks, your journal, all of this stuff is included in the command center. It's ultimately what gives you control of everything. And the best part about all of this is that your current situation has 0 impact on your chances of success with this Traders Operating System. Now, research shows that what enables people to achieve real success with education isn't a course alone. The course is a huge part, but without real-time guidance and support, it's very difficult to achieve real lasting success. Because the reality is that in any education, at some point you have questions. And if you don't have someone to answer those questions and give you the support that you need, there's a high chance of you getting lost and ultimately end up failing. That's why we have our own dedicated traders room with other mentors, verified 6-figure funded mentors inside of there as well. This isn't just another group chat. It's not another Discord channel with 3,000 random traders. No, this is the perfect place to get real-time help from traders who actually understand what you're going through, to ask any questions and get answers from people who have been exactly where you are. It's the perfect place for you to stay accountable, supported, and most importantly, on track. It's the perfect place to enable you to never feel stuck, lost, or alone again on your path to profitability. It's the best place for you to go from consuming information to actually executing with others who are doing the same thing. It's also the best place to get feedback, not just motivation, so you actually know what needs working on. And finally, it's absolutely the best place to surround yourself with other serious, funded traders and become one of them. You see, this is where the momentum is built. This is where your discipline will be reinforced. And ultimately, this is where real traders grow. So many of our members have actually attributed our traders room to be one of the most successful components and one of the biggest reasons that they were able to achieve success. Like Badara, for example, who literally accredited the traders room to being the main reason that she was able to go on and get multiple 6 figures in funding and within 3 months take over $12,000 in verified payouts. And up to today, she's probably crushing it at this point. So I didn't want to just build another course that you go through once and just end up forgetting. I wanted to create a living system that evolves over time. And that's why you don't just get the framework. You get the support, you get the clarity and feedback loops that bring it all to life every single week. Every single week, I host what I call the Traders Roundtable. You see, the Traders Roundtable is a live call with me, myself, where we will backtest the entire week's worth of price action that we just traded. And we break down exactly what setups worked and why, how our playbooks performed in real time, and where traders got tripped up during that week. You see, this is where your understanding sharpens. This is where you'll see how the real market unfolds. And this is where you'll understand how to actually connect the dots
of what's really taking place. It's not theory, it's real application happening right in front of you. And we do it every single week. On top of the backtesting, I also allow 30 minutes for questions on anything that you may be struggling with right now. This, in my opinion, is the most valuable of all. I mean, think of this as you having one-to-one access to me directly to ask questions and get real-time information. I mean, think of it. Anything that you may be struggling with right now, whatever that may be, you have the opportunity to ask me directly and get the answer to that question. I mean, imagine how fast you're able to progress just by having that one thing alone. So it gets even better, right? That's not all. On top of that, we also have the daily game plan, where myself and members of the team send our game plan for the day. What that looks like is, what's the market likely to do today, right? What setups am I looking for? What am I expecting? Where's price going to trade to? Where's price going to trade from? What am I going to do, right? Everything, my plan every single day before I enter the market, that's what you will get. And the plan also of the other verified, funded, six-figure trading mentors. You see, these aren't signals, they're my real-time perspective. And they will help you build your own confidence. They'll help you trust your own analysis, and they'll help you trade with higher levels of clarity. So when you sit down to trade, you already know exactly what you're looking for. So let's recap here, right? Let's take a look one more time at everything that you get when you join Prosperity School. You'll be getting full immediate access to my playbook. Again, my playbook is a simple to understand, simple to follow, step-by-step trading strategy, verified with data. And on top of that, you will get all of the rules, all of the processes, how I take all of my trades. You'll get 2.5 years of day-by-day backtesting, over 30 hours of recordings, day by day, week by week, month by month. Every trade taken, every single trade is journaled and reflected upon, and most importantly, explained to you. Every single trade, I'm breaking down why I'm taking that trade. So that's the entire playbook, and you'll be getting access to the inner edge. The inner edge is, honestly, for me, my holy grail, right? It's my 27 module long psychology program. Now, I can tell you with absolute certainty that even with a profitable playbook, if you don't have your psychology in check, you have no chance of achieving success. You need to be able to control yourself. And that's everything what the inner edge is about, right? 27 modules. It's broken down into 4 main phases, right? Phase 1, we have the awareness. In the awareness phase, I'm breaking down everything that you need to become aware of, all of the psychological mistakes that traders make. And so essentially, this is everything that goes wrong. The second phase is observation. This is where we do real practical examples of observing the things that are going wrong in your personal trading, right? Inside of this, we have many different worksheet templates that you'll need to fill out. So you'll have a lot of reflection. I'll be asking you questions that you will have to answer. And through this process, you will become to understand exactly what is holding you back, right? All the bottlenecks that you're currently facing. So we have the awareness of the things that go wrong for traders. Then we have your personal observation of what it is of those things that are going wrong for you. And then in phase 3, we have the development. This is where we bridge that gap, right? In phase 3, we start developing exactly how we're overcoming the things that we've just become aware of. And then in phase 4, it's about mastery. These are the techniques, tools, and the things that you can really implement to truly master your trading psychology so that you're able to just effortlessly follow your plan time and time again, because that is all successful trading is. It's a profitable playbook, a strategy that you just have to follow that's proven to work, and then the psychological foundation to be able to follow that strategy without deviating from your plan, right? That's it. That's the full playbook, the full inner edge, and the command center, right? The command center is your all-in-one place to organize your playbooks, all your data, how to test your strategy, how to collect your data, how to review your data, how to refine your data, how to journal your trades, how to reflect on your trades, on your performance, and make the changes that you need to make. So we have the playbook, we have the inner edge, we have the command center, and we have the trader's room, right? The trader's room is your all-in-one go-to place for you to be able to come in, ask questions, get help, trade with like-minded individuals, connect with people who are on the same journey as you,
be guided by traders who are a little bit more advanced than you, or some who have already achieved that kind of multi-six-figure level in fundeds, or who have taken tens of thousands of dollars in payouts, right? We have so many traders inside of the traders room that have already consistently taken over $10,000 a month. You're able to go in there and literally start understanding what are they doing. You can put a question into that traders room and get it answered by someone who's already achieved exactly what it is that you want to achieve. I mean, it's just a shortcut to success. So we have the playbook, the inner edge, the command center, the traders room, and then we have the daily game plan. The daily game plan is where I myself and some of the members of the team will be sharing their exact game plan every single day, exactly what it is that we're looking for in the markets today. And if those things happen, then we will trade, right? It's as simple as that. You'll get access to our daily game plan every single day without fail. So you get access to the full playbook, the inner edge, the command center, the traders room, the daily game plan, and the weekly traders roundtable, where you'll be able to see me live backtest the entire week's worth of price action, taking every single trade that was available, marking every single day's worth of analysis. Even if there wasn't taken a trade, I'm showing you exactly what my thought process was, what I was looking for, where I was right, where I was wrong, what trades I took, were they winners, were they losers, what was my thought process. Everything that I did that week, you will see me do it in a recapped environment. Plus, on top of that, you'll get access to ask me direct questions on anything that it is that you may be struggling with and get an immediate response from me directly. So that's the full playbook, the inner edge, the command center, the traders room, the daily game plan, and the weekly traders roundtable. Now, when I first mapped this entire system, the plan was to roll it out for $6,500. I mean, this isn't just a course, right? It's a proven working, pre-built step-by-step system. It's live support, it's coaching, it's full systems and processes, it's already completed playbooks, it's everything you could possibly need to become a successful trader. But after months of back and forth with my team whilst building this 4.0 system, again, this is a brand new 4.0 version of this system, we decided to launch with something crazy. So for those who are joining Prosperity School today, you will make a one-time investment of just $14.97 for access to everything that we've just discussed here today. Now, the truth is, it costs me $500,000 a year for me to be able to run this program, right? I'm talking between my team, the tech, the mentors, the coaching, the daily analysis, it all adds up, and I'm spending $500,000 per year just to keep this program operational, just to make sure that it actually works. So naturally, I am going to be moving this price to a yearly subscription of $14.97. But as of right now, you're lucky. So if you want access, lifetime access to our custom roadmap, all the tools and resources, playbooks, inner edge, command center, trade room, traders roundtable, game plan, everything, then you will only pay a one-time payment of $14.97. Now, a few weeks from now, this offer may not be available anymore, and I may have already moved to a yearly fee. There has never been such a huge opportunity to be able to do this. With the technology people are building to make trading easier and the opportunity to risk none of your own money, it has literally never been this easy to achieve your trading goals as long as you're doing the right things. The more you wait, the more that you'll be missing out on the monthly 5-figure payouts that are coming in from prop firms that you could be getting paid right now. And by the way, prop firms are paying out millions of dollars every single day to traders, and it's only growing. I mean, just look at one prop firm alone, and there are so many of these prop firms that exist today. But just one prop firm alone, in 2020, they were paying on average $39,000 a day to traders. In 2024, in January alone, they paid out over $300,000 per day on average to traders. That marks almost a 10 times increase in how much money traders are making in the last 4 years alone. And that's one prop firm, right? In fact, it is estimated that traders made between $1.5 and $2 billion in profits from prop firms in 2024 alone. Let that register. Everyday people like yourself have made on average between $1.5 and $2 billion across all of them in 2024 alone. That is crazy numbers. And it's grown 10 times in the last 4 years. And so it's only getting bigger, it's only getting better, and it's only getting easier. So if you're not the one that's taking these payouts, then they're gonna be paid out to those who are taking action instead. So you can either be the one who's taking action yourself and claiming what's yours, or you can be the one sitting back and just watching others succeed. So for those of you who are serious about becoming a consistently profitable trader, who's able to consistently take these $10,000 a month payouts or even more, right? Very possible for more, trading just 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, then click the button below this video to save your spot. And if you don't have the $14.97 in full to pay right now, and you have a credit card, you're able to actually chop up this payment into 12 monthly installments by using Split It. Again, you'll find that if you just click the button below the video. And finally, if you have any more questions or concerns, or there's just something you want to get clarity on, then if you just scroll to the bottom of this page, you'll find a button that will take you to WhatsApp, and one of our team members will be waiting there to answer any of the questions that you may have.